Looks like I'm joined by So Cold. What it do, Stephen Nelson? How are you?
What's up, man? Trying to get this camera to sit straight.
No worries, no worries. We appreciate you taking out the time to jump on. Um, Obviously, I wanted to have you on for a number of reasons. Um, we'll start with the fight because I know Rowdy Montgomery. What's his nickname? Because he's got like the illest name.
I
Like
think it's
he was given this name by birth too. This isn't a ring name. It was crazy. But I've watched
legend.
him. Yes, Roddy Legend Montgomery. But
Yeah,
I've watched him upset a few Golden Boy prospects. I don't know what you knew about him, and
yeah,
I figured that this fight would go the distance, and it did. Do you feel at
yeah,
any point in that fight that you thought you could get the stoppage if you did anything different, or was he just as tough as I thought he was?
yeah. He was a tough guy. I feel like I could have pressed the gas more and more on certain times because like my stamina is like good. Like they told me it was round 9 and round 10. I was like, dang, I thought I still had like 2, 3 more rounds. And I was ready to go. Those more rounds, but Um, yeah, he was a tough guy. A lot of shots that I landed on him that I would land on other guys, like he was just eating up. So I was like, okay. Um, but yeah, it was a great fight. I didn't know nothing about him going into the fight. He was just a last minute replacement,
Oh
and
wow!
so much stuff. Yeah, some of the stuff was going
Can
on.
can
A lot
you
of stuff was
tell
going
me how
on.
much time did you have? Like how much days notice?
It was about 2 weeks, no, it
Okay.
was like 10 days. It was like 10 days. It was like 10 days.
So who were you scheduled to fight?
It was two other guys. I was
Wow, you
scheduled to
had two
fight.
two fallouts.
Yeah, it was the guy that was 19-1. I had fought him in the amateurs, and his management promoter reached out to us and was like, "Yeah, we can make this fight happen." And then all of a sudden, it was like, "Oh, he's not available anymore." That was like nine to 8 weeks out from the fight. So it was plenty of time for him to get ready. Um, and then after that, we had Shakir, the guy who was 12-0, 11 knockouts from Puerto Rico. Um, damn, I don't remember his name. But he was 12-0 from Puerto Rico, 11 knockouts, and then he was locked down for like the whole camp, and then all of a sudden they said he was injured and he couldn't fight.
Mm.
So that's when we found that last replacement, um, Rowdy.
So champ, I mean, you got the win. You got a couple of regional belts with the WBO and the WBA. I was present at the parade, seeing you have both of those on your shoulder. Um, but you are 35. How do we get the ball moving here? It feels like you only fight when Crawford fights.
Yeah, because after I left Top Rank, like we self promoted, and I've got different offers from different like smaller promotions and stuff like that. But by the time I'm about to get those, but it's like, oh, we gonna fight. You fight on my card. So it's like I'm not gonna take these small fights. I mean, 18-0, 35 years old. I ain't taking, these small fights for, the little pay that they were offering and stuff like that. But luckily for this fight, PBC is looking at, making some things happen. So they got a little deal on the table, idea of how they want to promote me and everything, and
Really?
yeah, I'm just waiting to hear back in the next couple of weeks about
Congrats,
how we're
man.
gonna
So
do
wait a
things.
minute. So this will be a deal in 168?
Yeah,
One fight?
potentially, you know what I mean. Like it's not. I haven't signed anything. We haven't negotiated too much. This is just talks that we had with a couple. high members in PBC. So hopefully we sit down at the table. We've been enjoying the fruits of our labor and stuff for the last couple of weeks, and hopefully we turn around in the next couple of weeks and sit down and have a meeting.
Now, again, just staying on topic, is that fight by fight, or are they offering you a multi-fight at 68? Because there's a lot of opposition there. I mean, people don't want to fight Benavidez. People don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade. You have
Yeah.
Canelo on that side of the street. You got David Morrell
Right.
on that side of the street. I mean, the 68 pounders, there's a lot for you over there.
Yeah, well, it'll be a multiple fight deal. I mean, we haven't, like I said, we haven't sat down and went over negotiations and stuff like that. This was just verbal,
Nah, for sure. I
verbal
get it.
agreement. So we haven't sat down and said, okay, let's go this way and that route. But from the talks of it, it's a really good deal. So it's that time for me, and I feel like I'm that good where I just pop up. People like, dang, where's this guy been? Like, who is this dude? Like, there's people who know me, but the boxing world, I went to boxing world, but like, man, like he with Crawford's team? Wow, I didn't know. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking for it too.
So, what is Paul your manager, or is he your marketing manager? And is Bomac your manager, or are you not with Bomac as a manager and just as a fighter
Um,
trainer?
you know, Bo Mac, like our relationship, like all of Team Crawford, like we don't have like set jobs. People on different platforms put labels on each one of us, but when I say this, people don't believe it. They think we're just saying it because it sounds good, but we're like all like a brotherhood, and like Bo Mac's like our uncle and stuff, and they look over. Like none of these guys had the experience in the places in the placements they're in right now before you know Bud went pro. We all just knew each other from the neighborhood, and we just built a team up around Bud, and then I started boxing, and then around me, it was just like we're a brotherhood. So Bomac never had a title as a manager. He just always looked out, and he knew how to handle us as a manager.
Mm.
But Paul is my market. I signed to him as my marketing manager. But like he's a good friend of us, so he presents different deals. PG Sports, he presents different deals. Like, hey, we got this guy over here. He wants to do this and stuff, and I'm like, yay or nay. With marketing and fighting, he's brought a couple deals to me for fights and stuff like that. But then the Crawford and Spence fight came up, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm on that.
Word. I have James Valdez from San Antonio, Texas. Do you think Crawford will become undisputed at 154?
Yeah, I think the thing is, it depends on the Charlo and Canelo fight, because when we heard that news, we was like, man, dang, Canelo messing the bag up. But I think he will. I don't think if okay, let me go back. If Charlo released all the title, Bud is not gonna go chase him off. He's not gonna go and chase it one by one. Bud's at the point where he like, man, like I'm not about to sit around boxing and keep on taking all these fights, because people don't understand, man. These camps, the way we train and the dedication we have, these camps and all that, man, is taxing.
Mm.
They real hard because we don't go to camp just to train like we do when we're off season. We go and we bust our ass like hard. No days off, 7 days a week, 3-4 times a day we training. So, but if Charlo holds on to them titles and Bud can go fight Charlo, yeah,
You do know when Canelo and Charlo step in the ring, Charlo
it's
loses
not
one of
for his
those
belt.
titles.
Yeah, I know Charlo's not fighting for his title. Only Charlo can
No, no,
win.
no, no, no.
Canelo.
but he will lose one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he loses the WBO. Tim Tszyu will be in Australia. He'll get elevated.
Oh, wow. I didn't look that deep into it, but I mean, in that case too, one, two people, maybe. It's a strong maybe, but I don't. It's not like it would be if Charlo kept all the titles and Bud can go up there and fight him. It's a definite yes, but I don't see Bud just chasing down all them titles. And this is not where I mean, I've talked to him about it, and I've gotten his vibe from it. This is just my own assessment of. I don't think Bud's gonna go chase all them titles.
I want to go back to you. Out of all the names at PBC in your division, which is your big fight? Which is like if it's a 3 fight deal, who's last on the deal because he's the big fight, or do you want the big fight first?
Canelo. For sure. But I mean, honestly, and strategically, I wouldn't take that fight right now.
So who would you
I mean,
take first?
if they came to me to offer that, yeah, I would. But I wouldn't. I'm not trying to chase that fight right now because, like, I do need that experience. I do need to get that 3 year ring rust off. I do need to fight better oppositions. I understand that. So strategically, yeah, I want to fight and work my way up. Realistically, just going there for a paycheck, like, oh, you fight Canelo. Oh, okay. Like, I know, like, he got a lot of experience, you know, compared to my experience. So I do need those fights where I can be like, okay, now I'm ready. I'm ready. I feel like I have the skill, I had the talent, but you gotta know how to use it.
Do you feel you need a one fight before you fight a David Morrell, who's the WBA super
Yeah,
middleweight champ,
yeah,
or can you
yeah.
go straight into a Morrell fight?
Fights like that. Yeah. I mean, I'm ready for fights like that because um, he doesn't have the same type of ring experience as Canelo. He's good, he's talented, but I feel like I can pull that off.
So you,
I know ways to pull it off. I've seen him fight. I know ways I can pull it off.
so to be clear, that could be theoretically speaking, that hypothetically speaking, that could be your first fight. You wouldn't mind it being your first fight with PBC,
Yeah,
David Morrell.
yeah, it could be.
Now, what about the fact that they've been having what's that, Minneapolis a lot headlining? Would you mind having to go to quote unquote his?
It don't matter. I don't. It don't matter. We can fight in my backyard. I don't matter. Uh, Location don't matter to me. Like shit, I was there witness when Bud went over to Scotland and fought Ricky Burns over there, and the whole arena was moving. Like that's showtime.
Mm.
That's when I perform better. When it's more of a crowd or crowds booing you and stuff like that, and you got to prove something.
All
We
right.
always got
And
to fight.
what about Demetrius Andrade? He is now a two-time champ. He's been kind of that name in boxing for a long time that doesn't get the respect. Feels he deserves bigger fights, but just also signed to PBC and only fought Damon Nicholson on PBC. There are rumors of him potentially fighting David Benavidez, but would you immediately take an Andrade, or because
Yeah,
he's a
yeah, I
two-time champ,
would.
do you need one fight before that?
No, I'll take that too.
Mm. What about Andre? What do you see in Andre that you feel would make a good fight between you and him?
I just feel like he's good. I'm giving him his credit. I know him not personally. I know him through Bud and stuff. Bud and him is real cool. But um, I just feel like when I watch him, he has a lot of openings, a lot of mistakes that he made that I can capitalize off of.
How do you think the fight plays out with him and Benavidez, David, if it happens?
It depends on which one of each of those fighters show up because both of those guys, it's not a consistent performance on both ends. Sometimes
Really?
they have I don't ever see a consistent performance. Like sometimes you will see Benavidez have an okay, all right fight, and the next one he do amazing. And then when he have an off fight, the same thing with Andre, like he have bouncy fights. Sometimes on, sometimes perfect, sometimes it's off. So I feel like that fight, it depends on which one of those guys show up both nights. If the best Benavidez show up and the okay uh, Demetrius show up, then Benavidez gonna pull it off and flip flop. If this one show up and that one don't, those guys a 50-50 fight. It depends on which guys show up.
I got the perfect scenario. I'm about to speak it into existence. This could actually happen.
Yeah,
Jamal Charlo, first fight at 68. There was obviously rumors that he was going to fight Canelo. Then his brother comes out. He actually gets the fight. Also doubles down and said it was never Jamal that was going to get it. It was always Jamel that was supposed to get it. But now Salvador Rodriguez from ESPN Deportes is reporting that Jamal is next. Obviously, before he fights Canelo, the world would probably want to see him in there with someone because he's been so inactive. But he's the current WBC champion at 160, wanting to move up to 68. Had conversations already with David Benavidez. Now he's got the issue with Caleb's Plant that smacked him that Friday before the fight,
that shit was
who's
crazy.
also that dude is also 68. So it's like, would you I know you would take it. Would they be making a mistake giving it to you? Charlo moving up to
Yeah,
168, you being his first fight.
yup, definitely a mistake.
Tell me
Definitely a
why.
mistake.
Tell me
Like,
why. We got to get this fight out there in the universe. He know he need a fight before he get in there with Canelo. You know you want that fight. Why
yeah,
not?
yeah. Tell him to reach out and call me. I'll take that fight. I'll take that fight. The Charlo, the big Charlo, he's like, um, I mean, when I first started boxing, I seen both of them fight. I was like, man, them dudes is good. But that's when I first started boxing. I ain't know too much about boxing. But now I look back and I'm like, man, I can beat this dude. Like in so many ways. I can walk him down. I can box him. Both. It don't matter. I can beat him either way. Um, yeah, I want that fight. I'll take that fight for real, for real.
Where did you start your
It'd be
career at?
dope. It'd be dope as hell if like me and Bud can fight both Charlo brothers on the same card.
The only thing with that, it'll push it back because I feel like Charlo, big Charlo, will need a fight this year because if his brother's fighting Canelo in September, that means Canelo's next fight is in May. So Charlo got to be ready by May. So you and Charlo got to fight in between May, between now
Right.
and May.
Yeah. But either
Um,
way, it'd be a great fight. Not speaking about anybody else, but on me, on my part, yeah, I'll take that fight.
what weight class did you start your career? Are you a natural 168? And by that I mean, did you start at 68?
Nah, I was 78 in the amateurs, and then the
Mm.
pros went down to 75, and then my nutritionist was like, "Let's try to see if you can make 68," and I made 68.
So not only
You
are
know,
you the naturally bigger man, you're like Benavidez coming down in weight to make the weight. So
yeah, for sure. I make 68. Like I gotta have a perfect training camp. I can't just be like right now. They be like, "Hey, we got a fight for you in 4 weeks." I ain't making a 68 in
mm.
4 weeks. I need a full training camp.
Do you think Charlo's power carries up to 68 from 60 versus you?
Yeah, no,
Because he started his career at 54.
yeah, but I don't. I never seen him as like, oh, he got hella power. Like I never seen him as a dangerous puncher to me. So, of course, we all elite. We all got some kind of pop, but it's nothing to worry about to me. He comes to 68.
Now he is 32 years old. You're 35. When's your birthday?
June 4th.
Oh, so you just turned 35. What
Yeah.
do you think that the age matters? We just seen Terrence Crawford put on the best performance of his life at 35. Even though in interviews I've heard him say that wasn't his best, but we the world seem to think that was the best we've ever seen Crawford, and that was
Yeah.
at
I think
35.
it was just labeled as the best because of who he was fighting and how everybody had Errol Spence being that guy. But a lot of times people slept on a lot of Bud opponents because they didn't have that big name. They were coming up and they were undefeated and they were or just won a title and stuff, but they was overseas and they didn't have a real big name into boxing. So people, discredit his opponents. So now I hope that now people give his opponents better credit. Like, man, damn, that dude Bud fought. He did better than Errol Spence, so he had to be a little better. So, but they say style make fight, so it'll always be some kind of excuse of why, you
Just to
know.
double back, Jamal Big Charlo is 33 years old, and his
Oh
birthday
yeah,
is May 19th. So I was just asking, is age nothing but a number to you
yeah,
because of what you seen Crawford do?
right. But yeah. So to double back on that, I don't think age make a man. I think it's how you take care of your body and how much abuse you put your body through. Because some of these guys that I'm competing against been doing it since they were kids and teenagers. I started boxing at 21 and didn't do any other sport before that. I was just in the army and I just started boxing.
Mm.
Never play any other. I play other organized sports like on the street, pick up ball and stuff like that. But I was out in the street, running the streets and stuff like that. So I wasn't, I was too much. I was too much of a nuisance to be any part of any sports. So when I joined the military, and that was my break in life where I started to change my life, I started boxing. So I got 13, 14 years of experience in my body versus guys who got 20, 25 years in their body, even though they're younger than me.
So I want to double. I mean, not double. I want to go over to some of the many things that you did before I go back to the people's questions because we do have a lot of questions from the people for you. But
Yeah,
that being said, I wanted you to, I guess, tell us in your own words because it's rumored that you designed Terrence Crawford's ring outfit. So I just want to give you the floor and get your, mindset behind the creative thought process behind it because, I think that ring outfit will be remembered. And
right.
obviously that was one of your creations, from what I'm told.
Yeah, so, since the beginning of my career, I've always made my own uniforms, because my first uniform, a dude played me, and I say, you know what, I'm gonna start doing my own uniforms. And I went and figured it out, and I started making my own uniforms. Long story short. But always been, around, we be in camp together, he always seen that I made my own uniforms, but he was always signed to Everlast. Everlast always made his uniforms. So back in December, he was like, "Man, I'm about to ask Everlast if you can make my uniform or something." They just sign off on it or whatever like that. So he got back to me. He was like, "Hey, they say that you can design a uniform and just send it to them, and then they'll make it."
Oh,
He said,
wow.
"Make my uniform." So back in December, I made his uniform when he fought on BOK Prime, and I fought in the card as well. And everybody was like, "Man, your uniform is dope, dude. Made it." And he was like, "Oh, Steve made me this." So then we come around to this training camp. I mean, Bud was already in the talks. He said, "Man, the deal about to get done. I've been talking to Spence. I've been talking to everybody. Man, we got to get this shit done." He was like, he said, "Hey, man, stay in shape, cause you know you gonna be on the card. Stay in shape. Stay in shape."
That's
So
what's up.
then when we get to camp, it was like the second day of camp. He said, "You know what time it is, bro? What you gonna do for me this time?" I was like, "Oh, I got you, I got you, I got you." So weeks prior, he sent me a picture of him. He said, "Man, turn this into like Aquaman." um, picture
Outfit.
of me outfit. So I was like, all right, I helped him design that picture he posted of him with the thing, and
Yeah, yeah.
so I was like, oh man, we gonna do Aquaman. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come out as Aquaman because I always come out as different characters, Marvel characters, and horror movie characters and stuff like that. But then he posted it. He posted it to announce the fight. And I seen the comments, everybody was like, oh, you should come out as Aquaman. I said, you know what? I'm about to flip it up. I'm about to switch it up on him. And when he told me, let's design the uniform, I got the drawing. It took me about an hour. Drew it up, came on my mind. I was like, man, old boy called himself Big Fish. We about to go fishing. I just drew it all up. And I showed him. He was like, man, that motherfucker is dope. He said he was like that. I was like, yep, this is what we going with. And I sent it over to Everlast, and then I said, hey, I said, I contacted Everlast. I said, hey, y'all, make sure you have your design team stay in contact with me because I want them to make it exactly how I wanted to do it. From the shoes, everything. And that's where it went from. The only thing that uh I had planned for it, but I didn't get to do it because we had so much stuff going on. Was the net was supposed to have a whole bunch of tackle box gear on it, like bobbers and and stuff of that nature. But I didn't get to do it and add it on there when the uniform got to us. But it still was dope as hell, man. Everybody loved it.
Definitely, we loved it as fight fans. When we seen that net across his shoulder, then you went above and beyond and put it on the waistband. So when he took the jacket off, it's like we still see he out there. Um,
The
but
whole
s-
fight, yep.
but since you said it, like we about to catch the big fish, I gotta jump around because I'm also told that you were behind the creative thought process on the parade float, and rather than having a regular float, you decided, bro, you should
Both.
be on the boat.
Yeah, I'm a creative person, man, all around, even outside the ring, and just being an artist, and I be having all these ideas of stuff I want to do in my life, and I just save it in my notes on my phone, movie ideas, skits I want to do, and jokes, and all I got all kind of ideas, uniforms, and music ideas and lyrics that I come up with for rapping. I just come up with stuff and I just save it because you never know when you might need it. So, but sometimes it's do off the fly. When he was like, "You gonna be on the float?" I'm like, "Man, we gonna drag it out. Let's go all the way. Come out on the boat and the fisherman fit caught the big fish to celebrate, and we gonna have a fish fry too. We're gonna get 1,000 pounds of fish." Go to the park and come free fish. Everybody show up.
So was that your idea as well? The vest with the hat? Because I mean, it was full fishing attire. We
No,
seen
like man, Bud gonna do what he gonna do, and he a fish. He fish for real. Like he really go out. He got a boat. Both of them boats was his boats.
okay,
Those are his personal own boats. So he go out fishing all the time. He got all that gear at the house, and he just, what I mean, he just put it on.
perfect. But it was perfect. It fits so well to have the fisherman hat and the fucking net,
Yeah,
the vest. Um, bro, you were also in charge of throwing the parade. So on top of training, designing the outfit, being, a best friend to your man on the biggest day of his life, you also had to plan the parade and be
yeah,
involved in it. So tell me a little bit about that. Because
yeah.
honestly,
Cause
I never seen nothing like that. Like I know Deontay Wilder had a parade in Alabama. Salute to him. I wasn't able to go. From the pictures I seen, it just wasn't as many people as it was at in Omaha. It was insane out there. I mean, the park
yeah,
alone had like 15,000.
yeah, but you got to think of it like Omaha don't have a pro team. We don't have a pro football and basketball team. So when we get somebody like Bud to do what he did, that's our Super Bowl celebration. So everybody in the whole city is gonna come out because Omaha, Nebraska is a big sports town, but like I was saying in my speech, we have to pick teams every season to bandwagon on and jump on. Like when we up there, we got people here going for Dallas, people going for New York, people going for LA, but we don't have our own team. So we feel like Bud is our own team, and hopefully one day, I get there as well. Um, but man, when it comes to the people and the support, man, you can't beat it. And when we first came back from the fight, my phone was blowing up from a lot of different senators and people from organizations around Omaha, and they're all saying the same thing. They're all saying, "Hey, we want to throw a parade for Bud. We want to throw a parade for Bud." But they all were saying the same date. I'm like, man, something's fishy going on. Like, why is everybody? It's not a coincidence. Everybody's saying the same thing. But I'm the executive director of B&B Sports Academy, so people can't get a hold of Bud. They go to me because they know that I'm next to him all the time, and they can get to me. So everybody was contacting me. I'm like, man, something is weird. But then the mayor's office called me that evening. It was like, we trying to throw a parade for Bud, but we didn't know how to contact you guys. So somebody gave us your information. I was like, oh, that's funny because everybody been contacting me. It was like, yeah, forget all them people because they going through me. They going through the mayor. They going
Mm.
through us. I was like, oh, it said coming out of City Hall tomorrow and have a meeting. And that's why I went down there, and they said they wanted to do a parade, but I'm like, we want to throw it in North Omaha where we grew up at. They like, man, like we would do it. We want to celebrate you guys, but there is nowhere in North Omaha to celebrate on this level. And I'm like, wow. And they like, yeah, the parades you guys have in North Omaha is maybe 3,000 to 4,000 people. We're trying to do it for 15,000 to 20,000 people. And we like, oh, they trying to go that big. And that's why I went back and talked to Bud, and I let him know what they was trying to do and the budget and everything. He was like, well, let's do it. So I went back to the mayor's office and I said, hey, if we going to do it, we want to make sure, the people in our community benefit and our organization benefit. So I just bargained a couple of things, and I said, I want to make sure, I want to be able to control who's a part of it, who's in it, and then any funds being, you know, made off of this fundraising, we want to benefit B&B organization, and they okayed it. So from that day, we was meet up every day, and we built a team to handle certain things, and we made that happen. And being in that seat, I start to realize like these these events that we see that we be a part of, it takes so much to build and to make happen. But it was fun, like the whole deal. Every day, sitting down in the mayor's office and going over all the parameters and the people and contacting and appointing jobs and appointing stuff. It was just amazing. And then to sit there and be part of the celebration and see it all come together was, it's nothing like it.
So you said you were part of selecting who was gonna be in it. How'd you make that decision? Cause let me tell you, there was some funny shit. Like them dudes in the little go karts. That was
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. So, North Omaha is like I always explained it. North Omaha to a lot of people is like when you watch Lion King and Mufasa told Simba and them they can't go to that certain area. A lot of people look at North Omaha like that. So we always have parades in North Omaha, but only North Omaha people are going to be a part of it. Nobody's from West Omaha and South Omaha is going to come down there for a parade because they
Hmm.
they had this whole vision of what North Omaha is. Um, so I was like, so you know what? Let's take North Omaha to them, to a neutral meeting ground like downtown Omaha. Anybody go down there? Everybody down there. Got a lot of things. We got that the new area that everybody was at, the Gene Leahy Mall. That's recently built. Like it's a lot of stuff and a lot of people that comes down there. So it was perfect. Um, and when going through that planning and everything, I knew that there are certain people in our community that build the parades. So shout out to Precious McKesson. She works a lot in the community. I hired her to handle that. Handle the parade lineup and everybody in it and contacting and making sure the right organizations in North Omaha were in it. She was like, "Hey, is there any people that you want in it? And are you okay with these people being in it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, yeah, yeah. So it was perfect. Like you give those certain jobs to certain people, and they capitalize on it.
Yeah, nah, man, it was the real deal. I think I was well, first of all, I want you to know I don't watch any other sport. Like
Yeah.
never have. I've never watched not one Super Bowl ever. No Grand Slams,
Wow.
nothing. So just boxing for me. So it was special. I've never seen a parade for one man. Like I'm from the tri-state area originally, right?
Yeah.
So like you go to New York City, it's the Puerto Rican Day parade, It's the New York City parade. You got Macy's and all these big corporations. Like there was that many people just there for Bud, yelling "I love Bud" and had signs for Bud and drill teams and marching bands. Bro, I honestly kept repeating he might have a career in politics. He could probably run for mayor in a couple years for that fucking state or city or so. I don't know, bro. But what's your
Yeah,
thoughts?
yeah, for
Because
sure.
I that was a lot of love he got.
Yeah, I feel like being here and Bud having the momentum he's had from here in the last 10, 11, 12 years, he can do anything he want to do position wise, job wise when he retires. It's all up to him. If he into politics, if he want to be part of that world, he can. We have a friend that we grew up with, ran the same streets as we did, wrestled on the same team as Bud did. He's the senator.
Mm.
His name is Terrell McKinney. And he's went through all kind of adversity and stuff like that. So Bud definitely can do it. He definitely can do any. Yeah, he can do any of that. It's up to him though.
How relieved and proud were you of the city? Because I literally only seen like one dude get hemmed up by, security. There was no issues, no problems, no
That
fights,
was our
no
that
car
was our boy too.
accidents.
Yeah,
I'm from the tri-state area, so like I expected that main street in front of the park to be ridiculously hectic before and after the parade, but even the traffic flowed well, man. The city really showed out, I believe, and I feel like we need to highlight that because that many. I
man.
mean, I mean, they said there was 15,000 at the park plus another 10 on that other Ave where you guys came down in the boat. So it's like
Yeah,
if you had 20 to 25,000 people and we only got one girl fight and one dude had to get talked to by security. That is impressive.
that man. We was. It's funny you say that because I felt like you had a mic on us yesterday, me and Bud, because we was at the gym working out on the treadmill. We was running. We was talking about it. We was like, man, it's wild that there was no problem the whole day. Not only did we had a parade, but I also, directed our first annual, boxing matches for our kids. So that was right afterwards. No issues. And then we had the after party that was downtown at this new music hall called the Steel House. No fights, no problems, nothing. Like we was like, dude, that whole day we had no problem. And then after the after party, we uh no after yeah with the after party we went to the after hours and there was no problem. The cops ended up clearing it out because it was too many people. It was at this place called Johnny T's, and it's small, man. Like it's maybe the size of a small family home. It ain't big at all. But man, the whole street was packed of people because they heard that we were coming down there. It was packed. The inside was full. People was lined up outside. And then the cops just ended up coming and shut it down because there's too many people. But there was no problems the whole day. And then we was like, man, that's crazy, dude. We was going to these places and we see different people from different hoods and different gangs, and we know like, dang, these dudes don't get along, but everybody got along. Everybody came together as a city. And my grandmother, she's 87 years old, and I went to her house yesterday to see her because I haven't seen her since I've been home, and she said, the 87 years of my life, I have never seen that many people in the city of Omaha come together like that. 87 years of living. She said she never seen nothing like that. And she was crying and it was like, this is amazing for you to be a part of it. And not only just be a part of it, be like directing it and being so much part of this. And she was just amazed by it.
I was
So, man, we
amazed,
feel the
champ.
same way.
I was amazed. There was a lady there, and that's the thing. I was amazed at how big and small the town was. And what I mean by that is like I met a lady and she's just like, I was with Sean Porter. She's like, we love you, Sean. We love you, Sean. And then she's kept doing it. We started talking. I forgot what her name was, Lord. I should have remembered for purposes of this interview, but she said, oh, Muffin. She said, tell Bud you met Muffin. And somehow she's related. Another girl took a picture with her. She was related. It's like, someone told me the first day I got there, it's like, yo, you could be standing with someone and not know them, but
All right.
someone else knows them or they related to someone else in this city. And that's
Yeah.
how it felt. It was so many ladies with cheers and just people saying they love Bud. It was a lot of
Yeah,
love,
it's
man. A
crazy
lot of
because,
love.
man, like, dude is super humble, sometimes too humble, man. I be having to tell him, like, man, we can't go here, we can't do this because, man, you bigger than what you think you are. And he like, oh, yeah, you right. I'm
Well,
like,
I do
man,
want to give you credit for that because as the director and the person in charge, I was certainly shocked he had that much security, though, bro. You had them dudes like
oh yeah,
my
I
man.
had to hire. We had to because it was the police was working the grounds, and they had them doing all the groundwork. But I said, man, we need private detail for security because
Yes.
the police is not going to be able to control all these people from rushing him, want to take pictures and shake his hand and all that. So I added to the budget. We had to hire, private security team,
No,
10
I seen
guys
it.
to make sure everything
I
flowed, man.
seen it, bro. It felt like a scene out of a movie. Dudes was like in fucking vests with my man had a gun on his hip, one on the fucking on his leg. Then the dude had this big. I'm like, God damn!
Yeah.
They was protecting him like the president. Salute to you, man. You
Cause
made
man,
sure he was safe.
Omaha, I was surprised there was no issues, but usually, man, Omaha when you get together like that, man, so much stuff be going down, man. But it seems like our scope is starting to change because Bud is starting to inspire people and make them realize like you don't have to do this stuff. Because growing up, like we felt like we had to sell drugs and gang bang and stuff to get to that level because we didn't have too many people that was right in our community. We had people that made it out through school. They was play football and they made it out, but they was always those dudes that you knew they was gonna do that. But you ain't never seen nobody come from the hood and come from the streets make it anywhere. So a lot of kids were inspired by those guys. They be inspired by those dudes because those are the dudes that got the money and got the attention and got the girls and stuff. So the kids like, well, that's the best I can do. I'm gonna try to be like him. But now people can look at Bud and be like, man, we can make it. People hit me up that don't even box. Say, man, y'all inspire me to do better in my business and do better what I do. And the things that they do, they don't have to box. They can just be inspired to do better at what they do. Give it their all. Keep pushing, keep working.
Well, champ, I'm gonna get through a bunch of these questions from the people. We got Grandin Embry from Cincinnati, Ohio. What is it like working with Bomac and the team, and what is it like sharpening your ring skills and IQ with Bud?
Um, Shoot, it's like growing up with your brothers and your uncles, your dad, and they teaching you different stuff. Really, like it's it don't feel like it's like our job. It's like we go to camp and it's like, all right, we all get away from the city and we get to focus on things and we enjoy each other in our time and make things happen. Like to be doing it for so long, it's not like super special in that way where you notice something different. You know, if people come in from off the street and come hang out with us, they be like, "Man, you guys' team is amazing." But I've been here since day one, so it's like a brotherhood, man. It's like growing up with a bunch of brothers.
I got Ryan Fraser all the way from Toronto, Canada. He says, "Can you describe the atmosphere in the gym working alongside champions like Crawford and Shakur?" I guess that's kind of the same question, except he
Yeah,
added Shakur.
it's like a brotherhood, man. It's fun. It's like I said, growing up with your people right next to you, and y'all all doing the same thing.
I got Juan Mancha in Houston that says, "You killed it with the netted shorts. Who are you looking at as your next opponent?"
Um, any of the guys that are upcoming that's trying to get to the same place as me who want to fight for the titles. Any of those guys.
Okay, this one is a little bit. He says, what is this? Wilder's. I don't know. Why he says, what was the logistics of putting the parade together? I mean, you kind of answered that as well, how difficult it was and how many jobs you had to assign, but I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, it's just really like directing. Like that's why they call me the exec director because I'm the overseeing director of just appointing different jobs and different people and making sure everything is had the same goal. I mean, I have one goal, but everybody has to have that same goal, but they have to do their portion to it. That's the main thing.
I'm hoping you had a lot to do with matchmaking on an amateur show because I hope you remember the name of one kid that I think is special. And it ain't JD and it ain't Reno. It was Bryce. He's not from your
Oh
gym. Do you know what's his last
yeah.
name? Who is he?
What's Bryce's last name? Yeah, I know you're talking about. I forgot this. I forgot. I think he's from Southside. Is he from
Bro,
Southside?
he's a white kid though.
Yeah, yeah. That
Amazing.
was. Yeah,
I'm telling
he's
you,
nice.
y'all don't even know what y'all got there. Like somebody got to train him. He got this natural right hand. That kid might be Deontay Wilder in that little ass body. I promise you, man. Go. Did y'all record that? Did y'all record the fights? You need to go watch that fight, Steven. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
I had a videographer, but I was running around so much doing this stuff,
Bro, let
directing
me
and make
tell you
sure everything
something.
was flowing. I
This
didn't see
kid,
not one fight.
this kid is only 16. He's only 16, bro. He's
Yeah, I know
he's
Bryce.
raw. He's raw. Like you gonna look at him and be like, what the fuck? Nah, he's not. Cause he needs complete development. But that right hand is God given. I promise you.
Yeah,
He releases that shit like 4 minutes. I was so impressed, man. That I lost my voice that day. That kid was something else. And the dude they matched
yeah,
him with was way more experienced, but that right hand got him out of every problem. He needed to get developed and have a
right.
left hook and a jab. I swear. I introduced him to Bernie because I was that impressed. I ain't seen nothing like that.
Yeah,
At that
but
age,
eventually they all circle back. They gonna come to the home team, even though they're with other gyms. They gonna come to the home team to work with us and stuff. So we gonna definitely probably see them more often. I seen him at another fight that was I think in Iowa. It was in Iowa a couple months ago. I seen him there.
yeah, I think he's
But
from a
yeah,
neighboring city. He told me, but he has plans on
yeah,
moving to Omaha. He said, man. So I
yeah. They
introduced
always
him to
come. They
Bernie,
always
man.
come to the home team. So we gonna get a hold of
That
them.
kid special. I know he is. He just gotta stay in boxing. But I
Yep.
got Big Bruh Combat Coolin says, good showing last fight. How many bouts do you believe you have until a title shot? And will it be on a network with just you on the card, or will it happen whenever Bud fights again?
No, I'm definitely about to, you know, go down my own lane and start to get these bigger fights and stuff. but him being my bro and giving me the opportunity to find this card to display and stay active, it was a blessing. But at the end of the day, I gotta have my own story as well. So I'm thinking the next three, like 2 to 3 fights, is gonna be a title fight. To be honest,
Nice. I got Lids Low in Decatur, Georgia. Champ, just want to say appreciate you taking the pick with me. We met in the MGM by the ring with the Lions. You cool, solid dude. Just wanted to shout you out, champ.
thanks, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right, and I think two more. We got real recognized real. What's your plans for 2024?
Definitely. I think by 2024, end of 2024, it should be a title shot. It should be a title shot for real. Like you say, I'm 35. Like, I feel healthy, but it's so much in life that I want to do. So it's definitely time to me to go down my own road and blow up who Steven So Cold Nelson is.
I got B-Lo from Phoenix, Arizona. What up, champ? You look good your last bout. How old were you when you got into boxing, and who was a big influence on your career? Best of luck to you in the future. You said 21. That stuck out to me because I believe
Yep,
Sergio Martinez was
I
21 when he
started.
started.
Yep, I started in 2010, 21, and no lie, the first person I called when I started boxing was Bud. I
Mm.
grew up with Bud, and he was always known to be a boxer. When I first started boxing, I was like, man, Bud, I'm boxing now, man. We gotta get in the ring. We gotta start sparring. He's like, man, I don't think you're ready, man. You just keep working. I said, wait till I come back home. I was in North Carolina. Went back home first and sparred him. Man, I'm like, man, Bud, you small, man. Man, I got in that ring, though. He showed me that it was a different level. But that motivated me to go back and work on different stuff. 'Cause that's how I am. When somebody show me something, I'm going elevate on a level and perfect it fast. So that was 2010. Came back and sparred him again. The next time he was like, "Dang, you like night and day." Gave him some work, and ever since then I've been like one of his head sparring partners, and we've been working together and teammates. And 2012 was the first time I blew up, and nationally by going to the Olympic trials and making it to the finals. And giving the Marcus Brown one of the toughest fights he had. A lot of people thought I pulled it off, but they gave it to him, and I was the Olympic training partner, Olympic alternate and stuff. So I blew up from there in the amateurs. Like, man, who is this guy? Where he coming from? But yeah, I was inspired. I was definitely inspired by Bud, and it's funny. I tell people my first boxing match I ever seen was Mayweather versus Sugar Shane. That was
Mm.
the first boxing match I ever watched. 2000, I think it's 2011.
Yeah, man. Nah, I mean, unless you're a hardcore, you usually get brought into a sport by a big casual fight, like something like a Mayweather and a Mosley. But
Yep.
so cold. Those are all the questions we got through everything. But your manager did ask in the chat, is there any professional fighters that you would like to create a ring outfit for?
Yeah, I have. Like I said, I save everything in my notes, and I have more outfits than I would ever be able to use, more ideas and characters to come out with. And then like when you're a creative person, man, you can just come off with so much stuff. If a person say, "Hey, I'm fighting, but I'm fighting blase blase," I'm like, "Oh, they call themselves this. Let's make something to combat that."
Mm.
So I would love to make uniforms and design uniforms
Come
for
on, man. Let's pitch it. Let's pitch it. I mean,
all
we
of
still
them.
got we still got 46 days before Charlo's fight. What you got in that head on cap
Yeah,
right now for
I'll make
Charlo?
uniforms. I'll make uniforms for them too. Mayweather, he doing the exhibition. I love to make a uniform for him. That's
But
one of
get
my
throw me an
biggest.
idea for Charlo, man. He in
If
the biggest fight of his life. What would you come up for? What would you come up
Well, I
with?
wouldn't throw it out because then somebody else could take the idea to him or something like that. So,
So
but I
it's
got
all good,
ideas
champ.
for
They
him.
they
I would
they,
have to,
they could
I
they
would have
could
to
try
sit
to
down.
imitate you.
Right, like if I were him, I would come out and he fighting Canelo. I'll come out and it's on record now. So if he do it or anybody do it, get a credit to So Cold. I will come out as ooh. People don't remember this movie, but Desperado. Y'all remember
Okay, ain't
Desperado?
that with Antonio Banderas?
Yup. I would
Okay.
come out as Desperado. Come out with the guitar,
Mm-hmm.
the black with the chains on the side. Come out Desperado.
Okay.
I'm the real. I would come out as Desperado if I was Charlo.
All right. Well, so Cold,
Cause
give everybody.
cause I guarantee you, every time they fight the Mexican, they always come out with the same thing that Mayweather did with the little hat, the red,
Mm-hmm.
white, and green. It's like, yeah, switch it up, man. I do something different, man. I've seen this uniform like 4 times, 5 times. Switch it up.
You ain't
Come out as
lying.
Desperado.
You ain't lying. Tank did the same exact uniform, I think, versus Leo.
Yep, Tank did it. I think I seen a couple people do it. I think
Chris Colbert did it,
uh,
just different
yep,
colors, I think.
yep.
But champ, give out that
Uh,
social media, man, in case there's some people out here crazy enough not to be following you.
Man, y'all gotta follow me, man. If y'all wanna be inspired and and wanna see somebody that can do anything and from comedy to flying planes to building
That
stuff to
that was
boxing,
dope.
everything, dog. You name it, I do it. Uh, so many things. You can keep up with me. Follow me on Instagram, Stephen Nelson Boxing. Same thing on TikTok and Facebook. Stephen So Cold Nelson is my fan page. Twitter, So Cold Nelson. So Cold. Just follow me, man. It's not hard. Just to click the like button, the follow button, and you'll follow me in my career, my life, really.
Appreciate you, champ, man. Thanks for coming on. Look forward to getting you back on when you ready to confirm that deal.
Yes, sir.
All
So
right,
Cold. We're gonna get it.
let's do it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Soko Nelson.
Family, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1,000,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 1,000,000. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.